Mifeprex and misoprostol, aka abortion pills, are safe, they're effective, and you can get them by mail for about $150. In other words, you may be able to have an abortion without ever leaving the house. Yes, abortion pills are legally available by prescription in all 50 states. Until recently, the FDA regulations on these drugs said that they had to be dispensed in person, but the Biden administration has recently lifted those restrictions, allowing them to be dispensed by mail during the pandemic. And now the regulations are under official review. So yes, these drugs are legal, and also the regulations on them are in flux. And more broadly, the right to legal abortion is on really shaky ground in the United States at both the state and federal level. And we just heard that the Supreme Court is going to be hearing a case out of Mississippi that is a direct challenge to Roe versus Wade. Yeah, it's terrible, but the good news is that abortion pills are widely available online with or without a prescription, and we're just going to keep using them, regardless of what the FDA or the Supreme Court or any other governing body decides. You do not need anyone else's permission to end your own pregnancy, and if you decide to do that on your own with pills, there are a ton of resources to support you through that process. Traditionally, most of us have thought of this type of approach as a last resort, but it doesn't need to be. This is actually a relatively inexpensive, private, safe way to have an abortion. And sharing information about how to find and use these pills safely is the best way that we currently have to expand abortion access. In fact, misoprostol was initially developed as an ulcer medication in the 1970s and sold over the counter all over the world. And in places like Brazil, where abortion was illegal, people saw that "do not take while pregnant" label and started getting creative. So misoprostol has been helping people get around their fucked up governments and putting reproductive freedom directly into people's hands for decades. It's two different drugs. First, you take the mifepristone, which doesn't make you feel any different but starts the abortion process. And then 24 hours later, you take the misoprostol, which causes your body to cramp and bleed and expel the pregnancy. And common side effects from miso include nausea, low fever, abdominal pain, and heavy bleeding, and just like feeling like shit. And that part usually lasts about several hours. Oh, but remember that abortion pills are totally different from Plan B or the morning after pill, which prevents pregnancy and which you can take up to 72 hours after unprotected sex. The main risk in ending a pregnancy this way is that the regulations on these drugs are pretty unclear and they're constantly changing, and they are selectively enforced in a way that targets marginalized people. So we don't just need to talk about how to find and use these pills, but the fact that the level of risk in doing so depends on who you are and where you are. If you're looking for abortion pills and resources to support you while you take them, the best place to start is Plan C. Plan C's website is amazing. They have a state-by-state search tool that will help you figure out what the deal is with pills in your state, a range of ways to get them, and hotlines that will help you find counseling, medical support, financial aid, legal support, judicial bypass, really everything you need. Most of us feel like having an abortion is probably kind of a big ordeal. It's like $500, you have to go to an abortion clinic at least once, which might be far away, there might be protesters, and I think a lot of people feel like it's probably kind of bad for you. Now imagine a world where none of those things are true, and where an unwanted pregnancy does not even necessarily need to be a huge deal, because you can opt out by mail in a safe way without even visiting a doctor's office. The future is right now, and it's time to spread the word. For all the resources that I mentioned in this video and many more, visit sharesafeabortion.info.